This is my exact niche research strategy for faceless YouTube channels, and you guys can completely copy what I do. Now guys, this is going to be a step-by-step guide on exactly how I go about finding, identifying, and replicating a YouTube long/ultra long form niche. Guys, this is going to be one of my biggest value bombs I've ever posted on this channel, so make sure to strap in, let's get into it. And really quickly guys, if you want to go ahead and join my public Discord server, that's discord.gg/1%. It's obviously just a really cool networking environment where we do weekly calls. And before we get into it, this is not financial advice, it's simply me giving my opinion. Alright, so first thing I see a lot of people making the mistake of when first getting into an ultra long form niche, or kind of any niche for that matter, is of course weighing out whether it's competition, proof of concept, whatever it might be. They'll simply do, for example, an ultra long form channel that has zero proof of concept. What do I mean by this? Now this channel here, Space Dust, they're obviously making like 30 to 40k a month. They're posting ultra long form space content. Now most people that kind of join my program or kind of work directly with me in my Discord server might join and say, look, I'm starting an ultra long form channel, why am I getting no views? And it's simply because they're doing a niche with no proof of concept. Now, what do I mean by this? They'll see a niche like Space Dust and they'll do what I say, right? Merge two different niches together. But the problem is they'll do something that has no authority or identification on YouTube as a whole as of right now. So what do I mean by this? For example, if we were to make content on just Mars specifically, or just Jupiter, there simply isn't as big of an audience that are interested in that kind of ultra long form content to really sustain a channel long term. So what I like to do is of course find competition initially, that being for example a channel like this, Drift Away Ambience. Now these guys are doing about $70,000 a month in profit, and that's not just me guessing, that's fairly accurate. If we go ahead and check their view stats, you guys can see they are currently pulling in 4.3 million long form views a month. They're of course posting like 8 to 10 hour long Minecraft lo-fi videos. RPM on this is probably about $15. The reason why it's lower than normal ultra long form content, for example Space Dust, is because there's no talking in the videos. It's using music, so therefore you kind of attract a less first world country based demographic, hence lowering the RPM. But what I was trying to say is people might see this channel and think, okay, perfect, well lo-fi is big in the ultra long form space, how can I kind of stand out? And of course normal lo-fi is far too oversaturated to stand out, right? Lo-fi to fall asleep to. People have been doing this for many years. It is so oversaturated. Now the reason why Drift Away Ambience was able to make it work was because he identified a sub niche. That sub niche obviously being Minecraft, right? He took lo-fi that was already working and he moved it into Minecraft, which of course had a pre-existing audience. And in that time, he only started about a year ago, he has pulled in 51 million views. And of course, 51 times 15, this one channel has probably made close to $1 million. Now, he simply merged the Minecraft with the lo-fi niche, but we can go a step further. We can take what already worked on the Minecraft niche, but merge it into a different niche. Now, how do we find the niche to kind of start that we can tap into? Now, this is where kind of combining proof of concept works. For example, this channel here, Three-Eyed Theorist, they also post ultra long form videos, but in the Game of Thrones what if niche. So for example, what if Ned didn't tell Cersei he knew the truth? Of course, I've spoke about this channel before. If we go ahead and pull up their view stats, these guys are pulling in every single month 1.2 million views, and once again, they only just started very recently. So what do we know? We know that we initially have our first niche, the one that we're kind of copying all together. We know that that niche already has proof of concept, an ultra long form lo-fi based niche. Now we also know that Game of Thrones has a presence on the ultra long form space, just not for lo-fi. But chances are, if there's people falling asleep to this kind of content already in the Game of Thrones niche, there is the audience that are into Game of Thrones ready to consume ultra long form content in the lo-fi niche. So this is what I'm saying when you have to find multiple niches already working and combine them together to become the only competitor in your own specific genre. Now you might be saying, well, yes, this is all okay, great. I know my niche. I want to merge Game of Thrones with the lo-fi style. How do I go about doing that? Now guys, it is very easy. I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly how to do that right now. So first things first, you want to take a screenshot of the channel that you want to replicate, and then you want to head over to ChatGPT. And what I've said was, I'm replicating an ultra long form lo-fi based niche like this. They do Minecraft lo-fi. Familiarize yourself with the niche and become an expert. But I want to do this in the style of Game of Thrones. So Game of Thrones lo-fi. I've attached a few images of their videos and genre so you can understand it. By sending this, we're essentially training this specific ChatGPT model. And by the way, guys, ChatGPT 5.1 just released today. So this is going to be better than it's ever ever been before. But here we go. Got you. I'm looking in expert mode for this niche. So of course it knows the niche now. And what we're going to kind of do is transition and start creating the content that we need for this specific Game of Thrones lo-fi niche. And guys, really quickly before we do that, if you want to work directly one-on-one with myself to scale your own ultra long form channel, go ahead and check out innervault.co. We've just released a few days ago. I'm super excited. I work directly with you and scale your own ultra long form based channel. If you want to go ahead and check out the website, once again, innervault.co, feel free to book a call directly with me and we will hopefully work on scaling your channel. Now, coming back to the video, how do we actually start replicating this niche? Now, of course, first thing is, of course, thumbnail design. If you guys have kind of seen these Minecraft based lo-fi channels, the background content is, of course, just a Minecraft clip. But of course, when we're doing Game of Thrones, we can kind of make it a little bit different. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, from generating the image to do the music, to do absolutely everything, even the animations. Strap in. So what we're going to initially do is find a somewhat similar niche to what we're doing. So for example, you may rest now. I know there's a genre on YouTube that kind of does, like this kind of night style. I think that's more catered towards the Game of Thrones niche that we're kind of looking to do. Let's kind of find an example, right? This one right here, Rest Traveler, Calm Your Heart. I'm going to go ahead and take their thumbnail really quickly. So what we've said is we've uploaded the thumbnail and we've said, here's an exact example of the thumbnail and background image I want for this niche, but obviously in the Game of Thrones pixel art style. Write me the prompt using this image as a reference to give ChatGPT to make it perfect. Now, this is very, very important. Essentially, we're using ChatGPT to then give us a prompt to then give ChatGPT again, so it makes it even more optimized. So we're obviously going to go ahead and paste in that same image once again, and we're simply going to go ahead and copy the exact same prompt it just gave us. And you guys can see how insanely long and kind of precise this image is. Simply going to go ahead, paste that, press create image, and watch how insane this is. And in the meantime, while we wait for this to load, we also need to do video ideation. Now, I don't think that this kind of Minecraft lo-fi style of titles would kind of work in the Game of Thrones niche. I think we can get a way better reference if we take something like Chill Cartoon Vibes. They already do videos like Stop Here and Get Some Rest, The Storm Will Soon Pass. We can obviously go ahead and check their analytics. They're pulling in an insane amount of money as well. If we check their ultra or their long form views, RPM is probably about $17 once again, 1.5 mil views times by 7. This one channel is making 25K a month. So of course, how do we copy their thumbnail or their title designs, I should be saying, video ideation? Once again, take a screenshot of their most popular videos. And once this image is done, we can go ahead and use this image to generate infinite amount of optimized CTR based titles. And guys, tell me this is not absolutely insane. It's gone ahead and made us the background image that is absolutely crazy. Of course, you want to make a few changes. First thing is we're obviously going to go ahead and open up Photoshop. And guys, if you are enjoying this video, make sure to subscribe. This is essentially an entire course in one video. I'm going to be showing you exactly how to replicate this. So once again, I am by no means a designer, but we want to go ahead and make this fit obviously in the kind of canvas size we need for YouTube. We're going to go ahead and increase the brightness to just make it that much more saturated and obviously optimized for CTR. We can go ahead and increase the saturation slightly if that's something we want to play around with to make sure it shines perfectly. But there we go. We've got our background image, and that's essentially the visuals you need for the video. I mean, look at this guy, Chill Cartoon Vibes. Same guy that's making 25 grand a month, just has the exact same background footage the entire video. And you might be saying, well, how do I animate the video like he is with the rain and stuff? I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Stay strapped, lock in, watch how insane we get this going. First things first, we need to get some title ideas. So I'm going to pop up the screenshot we just took from this guy's channel, and we're going to say, replicate me some title ideas in the Game of Thrones niche, but taking from his outliers. Make sure they are optimized for CTR. Now, by doing this, it's obviously once again trained on itself, so it knows we're doing Game of Thrones, and it's going to give us a ton of ideas we can use directly for our recent thumbnail we just made. And just like that, Rest Here Traveler, the North is quiet tonight. Once again, a perfect Game of Thrones kind of title if you're familiar with Game of Thrones. Rest Traveler, even Dragons Sleep Peacefully Tonight. These are perfect titles. You've wandered far, take a moment and rest. Now, obviously, next thing is, of course, animating this image or this image specifically. Now, guys, there are many, many, many ways to do this. We're going to be using Kling AI. Once again, not sponsored whatsoever, but you can essentially turn images into videos and it's really, really good. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that in right now and show you guys what it can do. So what we've actually done is said once again to ChatGPT, write me the prompt to give Kling AI for us to animate this image, explain what needs to be animated and stuff like that. So all we have to do is, of course, come to Kling, put in the image we kind of want to animate and type in the prompt. And once again, we have the entire prompt that we need to animate right here. So I'm going to wait for this to generate and I'm going to paste it into Kling and show you guys what it made me. And while we're waiting for this, I want to get into the next kind of part. As you guys can see, it's currently generating. No need for us to ponder on this. Now, next thing, we have done thumbnail design. We've also done video video ideation and title generation. And of course, we're currently doing the kind of loading itself. Now, once again, guys, I want you to keep in mind that you can do this for any sort of niche. This is not limited to lo-fi. You could do this for a channel like Space Dust. Just replicate the exact same systems I'm showing you, but of course, use that in any sort of voiceover niche you might be doing. Now, music generation, how do we do this? I'm going to say, once again, I'm going to upload that exact same image, and I'm going to say, write me the Suno prompt to make medieval instrumental lo-fi based sounds. Now, if you guys want to know how to get the music that these guys use, literally just use Suno AI. It's essentially a music AI software. It's completely free. You can get a bunch of AI music that you completely own the rights to. It's pretty insane. Alternatively, if you want to go ahead and use a site like Epidemic Sounds, you can of course just like pay $30 a month and license music to your channel specifically. I would recommend just using AI because then you own the music and you can consistently use it for every future video. So coming over to Suno, we're going to go ahead and simply copy the prompt it gave us, and you want to make sure you are using instrumental. Super important. It'll make it way better. You don't want singing. You want to have it relaxing enough to fall asleep to. As you can see, completely free. We can download whatever song we made as an MP3 file. Of course, make a folder in our PC, call it Game of Thrones Lo-Fi, drag all those videos into there and just consistently use it. Now that song is completely done. So let's go ahead and play this. Guys. Is that not insane? You can make an infinite amount of these and it gives you 4 every single time you do it. You can literally listen to this one as well. Okay, that one's quite shit. We won't use that, but you can of course work with it. You can make adjustments. Once again, save all those files and you can never get copyrighted because you own all the content. So that's how you would kind of handle making the music. And of course, once you have like a 6-hour backlog of kind of music you can use, you can consistently just reuse that for the entire channel, put the visuals on there and render the video as a 4-hour upload. And here we go. Our animation is completely done. Guys, tell me this is not effing insane. Listen to it. The water is falling, there's rain, there's a dragon, the light even reflects on the dragon, and of course, the fireplace is completely working. And of course, if you want to remove the watermark, there's many ways to do this. You can do it in any sort of software, or of course, just pay for Kling. I think it's quite cheap, and you can of course generate animations an infinite amount of times. So what have we done? We've done thumbnail design, video ideation, music generation, and of course, visuals. There is nothing else to these kind of videos. You know that eventual image you created as the thumbnail, generate the titles, pop it in, put it on an ultra long form channel, and you have essentially replicated the exact kind of style of this guy, but in a specific sub niche that nobody else is doing. Once again, guys, if you want to work directly with myself in scaling an ultra long form channel, go ahead and check out innervault.co. It'll be linked down below. We just opened up slots again. I'm really keen to work with some of you guys if you want to go ahead and look into that. And of course, if you want to join my public Discord server, that's discord.gg/1%. That'll also be linked down below. This was a very fun video to make. I hope you guys learned something new. Have a great day. I will catch you in the next video.